New construction, 55 plus, Port St. Lucie. If those words mean anything to you, this is a video you're going to want to see. Today, we're in Tradition. We're at Del Webb in Port St. Lucie, Florida. We get a lot of people looking at 55 plus communities here in living in Palm Beach, Florida. New construction have at you. We also do existing homes, but lots of times we find relocation buyers want to go in the direction of new construction. And here's one. If you're looking up in Port St. Lucie at 55 plus communities, this is one of the better communities I recommend at least considering on your visit here to Port St. Lucie and South Florida. Welcome to Del Webb in Tradition, Port St. Lucie, Florida. My name is Ray Fernandez. I'm with Living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by eXp Luxury. Welcome. Each week we look at what it's like to live and consider moving to South Florida, moving to Port St. Lucie, moving to Palm Beach, Florida. And if you're thinking about doing that, this is a challenge you're going to want to follow. If you're thinking about moving to South Florida and you're looking at and considering a 55 plus community, here's one I would consider. If you want to get in hold of us and see what it's like, if you want to speak to people who have relocated and actually done it before, such as myself, there's a few ways to get a hold of us. Down below is our email address. That's one great way. Also on the screen, you see our phone number. You can either call or text that number. But literally two of the best ways is in the description and the comment section. There's a link. Click on that link. What that'll do is set up some time for us to speak, either through a phone call or through a Zoom, whatever way you feel most comfortable. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating here to sunny South Florida. If you go into this sales center on your own without independent representation, you're absolutely crazy. More on that in a bit. Del Webb Tradition is a big community. There's 936 homes here. There's a lot of new construction in the Port St. Lucie area. We see a lot of people. One of the most common trails that we take our clients to look at and to consider is here, Del Webb. That Riverland is down the street. There's Tularo. There are a lot of 55 plus options. If you're looking at 55 plus options in South Florida, we really need to speak. We can give you an idea of the pros and cons of each community. Here at Del Webb, there's 936 homes. So this is a big community. We take a lot of people to Del Webb, to Riverland, to Tularo. These are some of the major 55 plus communities here. In general, people spend less money here in Port St. Lucie relative to Palm Beach Gardens. The homes here are a little bit less money, but some of the best, the ones we can guide you. What's the ones we would consider? There are some, believe it or not, there are some builders who don't even put in washer and dryers in their homes and then the appliances. I know it's crazy. That would never happen in Palm Beach as an example. There's some of the nuances like that are one of the reasons you would use someone like that. But if you want to know what are some of the best 55 plus communities to consider, reach out to our team. We'd love to help you.
All right, let's start narrow and let's go wide. So here we go. This is the narrow part, and I'm going to zoom out to see where stuff is. So this is Florida, right? This, I've said in many of my videos in the past, Pensacola to West Palm Beach is about a 9-hour ride. It's a big state, and it could not be any more different in terms of, what each area's personality is. Jacksonville is different than Tampa, which is different than Sarasota, and this is South Florida. When people say South Florida, they mean Southeast Florida, generally speaking. West Palm Beach is the biggest city in Palm Beach. So a lot of people are going north because of the pricing in Port St. Lucie. That's what we're talking about today. And there's a tremendous amount of growth in general in Port St. Lucie, new construction-wise and so forth. So before I narrow it in, I just want to go look at the wider version of it. Port St. Lucie, if you live in Port St. Lucie, the beaches you're going to probably use here is Jensen Beach. Beautiful beach. I love it. Easy to get to from Port St. Lucie. Without traffic, you can literally make it, and you can see in about 20 minutes. Downtown Stuart, if you're looking for stuff to do and restaurants and a town area, Stuart is it's like a fishing town. It's amazing. A lot of growth here in the Port Salerno area. This whole area in general has been a lot of growth, but it's a subset of it. Palm City, another big, city, not a big city, but a city that's going to see a tremendous amount of growth. Port St. Lucie, especially the western part, which is where we are here in Del Webb, is growing fast. And let's take a look. Let's dig deeper at where exactly Del Webb is. So as I zoom in to Del Webb, here we go. This is where you, when you go with me or us or our team, and ideally I'd like to take you personally to visit Del Webb. This is where we'll meet. The community is here. It's built out. The clubhouse is nearby. This is in a whole Del Webb. You can see they even have it on the map, their own pickleball courts. I'll talk about that later. And this is how do you get to their amenities. And this is actually pretty good to do this. Let's zoom in on the amenities. As you can see, we'll talk more about that later, the pickleball courts and the additions. What they do is that as communities grow in general, they add stuff. That's what they're doing here. But as you can see, it looks really nice. It's like a resort. It's literally, when you live in Del Webb in Port St. Lucie, it's almost like you're living in a resort. All right, so let's zoom out a little bit again here now. So they take a lot of people, to this is Riverland. So these are pretty close. Tolaro's another 55 plus. I mean, if you want a 55 plus and get unbiased recommendation, you get unbiased, guidance on where a good place is and what makes the best fit, you really should be talking to us at Living in Palm Beach. But I say this because we take a lot of people here, we take a lot of people there, and to us it doesn't matter where you're going to buy between. But these two places, as you can tell, Riverland and Del Webb, are pretty close to each other. It's pretty easy to get to, and it's near 95. As we zoom out, you can see 95 is the main road going north to south. It's really easy to get to. It's also, if you go a little bit further west, there is the turnpike. Which is another good road. They're one of the places in Florida where the 95 and the turnpike are close together. So as we zoom out from Del Webb and all that stuff in western, in Port St. Lucie West, as you can see, it is pretty easy. A lot of people take this. Becker Road is a pretty common road to get into town, but that in a nutshell is where you are when you live in Port St. Lucie and Del Webb in South Florida.
So here I am. I'm at near the gatehouse or the guardhouse. It's currently open because the sales center is still selling, and they don't want to stop people from going to see them and buying houses. But you can tell that the other side, the visitor side, actually is closed. They have like what they call an Invera, like a virtual gate, currently set up, and they have a guardhouse. So at some point it'll be up to the HOA which direction they want to go in. This is part of your HOA stuff that you want to know. In general, a lot of 55 plus communities do go with they want this here to give the community the option to go that way. I feel like it's such an upscale community, they're better off going in that. But what sometimes I see communities do is they'll do a gate during the day, a guardhouse during the day, and maybe at night in lesser traffic areas, they'll put the virtual gate. There is someone there on the other side of that guardhouse, but this is a good clip for other communities. This is not just specific to Del Webb here at Tradition. This is something that happens in most communities, especially in 55 plus communities here in South Florida. So welcome to the amenity center here at Del Webb. They've got quite an elaborate amenity center. In fact, they're building a second clubhouse, believe it or not, with a lap pool and everything else. But what they have here right now, they have a fire pit, resort style pool and spa. They have pickleball courts, which if you don't live in Florida, I don't know how well you know this, but it is the rage here in Florida. They have 8 and they're building 2 more. They have bocce ball courts, which is really popular here. They have a dog park. They have a passive lake trail. They have an activity director. So you will never be bored living here in Del Webb in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Some of the things here's the clubhouse right here. Some of the things that they have here in the clubhouse are, they have a state-of-the-art fitness studio, they have a barefoot lounge, they have a movement studio, they have a card room, they have a catering kitchen, they have a social hall. So lots of times we get people, as I mentioned earlier, lots of times we get people that look both at Del Webb and at Riverland. We get that a lot. The amenities are great here. They're fantastic. There's a nice little outdoor kitchen, outdoor area, where the bar area, or when I've been here in the past, that people just sort of hang out. Very social scene here. Let me go to it real quick here. I mean, screened in, so it's hard to see, but there's a pretty active social scene here. Now, if you're looking at it compared to Riverland, it's hard to compete because Riverland has the most extensive amenities I've ever seen. But like I tell you the pros and cons. One of the big reasons people use it, and I hear this all the time, is that we don't sugarcoat anything. We give you the good and the bad of everything. So it depends on what you are. We had someone buying here in Del Webb, and they looked at both and they chose here. So it depends on what you are, but they do have an elaborate set of amenities here. So if you're looking to live your life as if it's 7 Saturdays, you can do it here at Del Webb in Port St. Lucie, Florida. So I have a little cheat sheet here for one of the new clubhouse is going to continue, the new amenity set, the second one they're currently building, which is going to be finished in about a year from now. By the time you see this video, it'll be less than a year. Horseshoe pits, another dog park. I mentioned lap lanes. They have a pizza area with seating, so they can do a little bit of a more casual dining, it looks like. A ballroom, a card room. Oh, and this is something that they're going to do, which I think is really smart of them to do, because I know the communities that have done this, it's been a tremendous success, is they're going to have a kitchen area. So if you want to take cooking classes, like do a cooking demonstration and learn to perfect your cooking skills, they're going to have it here in the 55 community of Del Webb in Port St. Lucie, Florida. See, here at Del Webb at Tradition, they have a really good setup here in terms of Model Row. Here we are in Model Row. They have a total of 9 floor plans to choose from. They have 6 models here. So having said that, 2/3 of the models floor plans they have, you can see in person with the models. I'm going to go into 1 or 2 of these. People who follow my channel know they don't necessarily go and introduce all the features of all that. You can see that online, by the way. If you're looking at a website, now this is a really important point. If you're looking at a website and you're looking at, let's say, the Renown or the Stellar model or the Mystique, any builder or any community per se, even if it's another Pulte home / Del Webb community, when you see the prices online, those are typically quoted on a to-be-built basis. If you're looking at a quick delivery home, they're usually quoted on an all-in basis. But when you're looking online, generally speaking, those like the Stellar as an example, they're only showing you the base price of the home. What they're not taking into account is the price of a lot, which I will go over lot prices in a second. I'm not taking into account the price of a lot, and they're also not taking into account the upgrades. So that's, it's sort of like, that's the way they get you in and make it, you could see that it's easier to actually to buy than it will cost a little bit more money. Let me go over the lot prices real quick. No, I stumbled on my words a little bit there. The currently today, lot prices here at Del Webb in Tradition are $6,000 on the low end. The lowest price lot currently available, this will change maybe by the time you watch this video. It will change in time, no doubt. The lowest price is $6,000. You can also spend up to $100,000. So like the $6,000 lot I looked at, it sort of backs up. You have a couple of homes backing up to the home. So it's sort of tucked away in a corner. It's not the ideal lot, which is why it's only $6,000. But you can go anywhere from $6,000 to $100,000. Also in general, if you're looking at water lots, in general, water lots, when we say water, like they call them lakes, but really they're like retention ponds. When you are, because there's a higher demand for that, in general, the price on a lot on the water is a little bit more money than a dry lot here at not just Tradition, but any new construction community here in South Florida. And that's one of the reasons why you want independent representation. We don't work for the builder. We are independent of any of these builders, but I speak personally to the builders all the time. I know what the pros and cons of each builder are. So if you tell me what you're looking for, I can help guide you in the communities that you should be considering. We have to be there on your first visit. So reach out to our team and we'll set it up so we could be there on your first visit. It doesn't cost you anything. There's nothing out of your pocket. It's the builder who pays us. You can even ask them that there's no discount or whatever for not using us. We help guide you and give you the independent look. If there's an existing home for sale in this community, we can help you. The builder's not going to tell you about that. So we highly recommend independent representation when looking at new construction here in South Florida. We have a transaction coordinating team that will help guide you throughout the whole transaction. So once you go into contract with any of these builders, we will be there. We will help keep the builder accountable. We will be there for your inspection, the drywall inspection. In any event, you want guidance, independent guidance on any of those processes. That's one of the reasons you want independent representation. So here at Del Webb Tradition, they have three classes of homes. They start with the villas, which are attached homes. Which are attached homes, such as right here. Let me walk over there really quickly. I don't normally go into these, but they have the Elwood here, back here. So that's one of the collections. They also have something called the Classic Collection, which is like the mid-range, and it's the smallest for single family. As you can see, here's the Elwood. You can see. Let me show you real quick. They're very nice. They're very popular, but I get a lot of people in general that don't want attached. They don't want townhomes. This is I wouldn't necessarily call this a townhome. This looks actually fairly elegant. Anyway, they have those here. They have the Classic, and they have the Estates is the highest. I'm going to go in the Stellar, which is one of my favorite models here that they have here at Tradition. All the Pulte, basically Pulte Homes is the parent company. Del Webb is their 55 plus label for Pulte. Also, you'll see, here you go, Stellar. Also, you'll see the name Devasta. Devasta is like their high-end label for Pulte Homes. Now let's go into the Stellar. I walked in here a short while ago on my own for the first time again. Not the first time ever, but first time in a little bit. And I was taken back. I just think this model really presents itself very well. I'll give you an idea why I say that. When you first walk in, nice office. That's actually very common in Florida. When you walk in, you have a den office. In recent years, since COVID, we've had a lot of people that have remote jobs. This kind of space is ideal for them. And then this kitchen is brilliant. Look at this kitchen. One thing I like that they do too is, like, if you see something you like, this is a model home and it's loaded with upgrades. One thing they do is they have these things here. Shop the furniture. So you could literally, if you see something you like if you like this sectional as an example, you can scan that QR code and find it. KitchenAid is are the appliances they use here. They have generally speaking lots of upgrade packages. I have found, so I asked this question to the builder today, what do people spend in upgrades in general? Because it can be a significant amount. Everybody's different. Some people will spend almost nothing on upgrades. Other people spend a ton of money on upgrades. But in general, on the Classic series, people are spending about 10 to 15% of the base price of the home to add for your upgrades. On the Estate, with the larger homes, they're adding somewhere between a little bit more, like 15 to 20% when it comes to upgrades in your home here at Del Webb in Port St. Lucie, Florida. So here, the Stellar here, the one that we're in now, one thing I like about what they do here, they're fairly flexible. So you could do some structural upgrades or some structural changes here with this builder. Lots of builders you cannot. They'll even say, when you ask the question of making changes, if they're structural, they'll say flat out no. What I like about what they do here is you can do a lot of them, so which is helpful. This Stellar is in the Estate section. And the other thing about them, that's about land lots before, they're a little bit wider. So the width of the lot here in the Estates are 66 feet wide. On the Classic, they're 52 wide. I have my cheat sheet here. If you're interested in knowing about this stuff, let me know. I'll scan this and send it to you. There is pricing on here, but here's the problem. By the time I film this video, the pricing is probably changed. So just bear that in mind. But they do list all the models here. And the Stellars happens to be one of my favorite here at Del Webb in Tradition, Florida. One thing I like about what they do here in this model is, I walked in here because I was here with a client here a couple of weeks ago, and there's some really good features to this home. This is one of them. And it's an option. You don't have to do it that way. It is a cabana bath. So you have a pool, and I'm going to go out there if I can and see if this alarm goes off or not. Please don't go off. Awesome, didn't you? So they have a nice pool. It's a beautiful pool out here. And there's your cabana bath. So if you're out here enjoying the pool, you don't have to track all your stuff into the house, which makes it really, really convenient. So this is like a bird. They call these bird cages. You've probably heard that term if you're familiar with Florida. Keeps all the insects out. So I get questioned this a lot. Are there a lot of bugs here in Florida? The answer is there can be at night. During the day, if this didn't have a cage, you would be, in my opinion, fine. My house where I live, I don't have one. I sort of like not having. I like it being open. But I can appreciate that people do like it screened in. This is such a good screen that you can't even tell. Look at this. Without the framework there, you couldn't even tell it's a screen. It's done so well, the builder here. So this is a high-end pool. And yes, they do build pools here. You can build the pool with this builder, which is one of the nice features. The delivery on homes are anywhere from 8 to 11 months, maybe 12, depending on if you do a pool. Which is on the faster end compared to most other builders, but they have a process that's different. You can build a pool with them, and it's sort of like a custom pool. Like lots of times when you do a pool with the builder, they're sort of like you can do A, B, C, D. Here you can customize it. You're working separately with the pool builder, and then they coordinate with Pulte Homes, the home builder. And they coordinate together. If you are doing a pool, it's going to take a little bit longer for your home to be built. Makes sense. But the thing is, they do allow it, and I get a lot of people who want to do that because it's a pain in the neck to do this after you're done, after you've closed on your home. There's a lot of construction, and it's a little bit of a mess. So pools can take, depending on delays, it can take 6 months. So I think it's convenient. It's helpful for people to have the option of where they want to do the pool with the builder or on their own later. All right, continuing here with the model here. The cellar is the way it is here. It's almost just shy of 2,500 square feet under air. When we say under air here in Florida, we mean living space, means under air conditioning. Oh, hi, guys. Didn't see you there. This model here is roughly $560,000. That's the base price of the home. That's if you're doing it to be built. One thing I love about this is the pocket doors. I get a lot of buyers who really do love the pocket door concept. You can literally, look how beautiful that is. You can literally screen this off and make this your own little area here outside, your own little room here, if you're buying the Stellar here in Del Webb in Port St. Lucie, Florida. All right, so now I'm gonna go into another model. I don't always go into a second model, but I'm gonna do that today. I'm gonna go into the Mystique. The Mystique is in the Classic collection. We came from the Stellar, which is on the estate, is an estate home. This is in the Classic selection. All right, a few things I want to mention here. You get a little bit more with the estates in terms of features and standard features compared to the Classic. Just wanted to let you know, reach out to our team if you want to know what those might be. One thing I think is really good, when speaking with the builder, these homes come with tankless water heaters, which is something that's been more popular in recent years. It used to be like I have a water heater, an actual water heater in my garage. Insurance companies love tankless water heaters. There's less of a chance of a flood. So that's standard here at all the models, whether you're buying a classic or an estate home here at Del Webb. One of the things I like most about what they do here is they have availability of both quick delivery and to be built. I mentioned the build time and to be built. They have like staggering to be built. So in other words, if you want something right now, they have it. If you want something like a couple months, they have it. They want something, 5 months, they have it. So they have a lot of flexibility. I find that to be really helpful with buyers because it gives them, because not only are you buying the model house that they want, time frame is important. In fact, it's one of the first questions I ask of buyers is, what's your time frame? Because lots of times that'll be one of the key questions as to what communities we're going to look at and what makes most sense. As an example, if you want to do a to-be-built homes, there are some spec home builders that will not have anything that you can customize. I wouldn't take you there. So we know here at living in Palm Beach, Florida, we are with eXp Luxury. We are a new home co-broker. My team, myself especially, I have great relationships with the builders. I know them all very well. You can ask them about me. Most of them know me. And I will study what these communities do. In this way, when you're asking questions about what communities make sense or what these communities offer, I have an idea based upon what you're telling me, what communities make sense for you to at least check out. And the builders, by the way, they have their own separate budget for me. So I work independent of them. And so I am not accountable to them. I'm accountable to you. And that's what people like when relocating here to sunny South Florida. So let's go over one of the most important questions. I probably get a little bit late in delivering this, but I'm going to do it anyway. The villas, they start, believe it or not, in Port St. Lucie in general, the prices are a little bit lower than in Palm Beach. You can actually get a villa for like upper threes, low 400s, probably more like the low 400s. Classics, and we're talking all in. When I give you these prices, and if you look on the website, it'll be different because, as I mentioned before, it's not really realistic. We live in Realville here and living in Palm Beach. It's not realistic to think you can get those prices based on the website. But classics are going to be somewhere in the upper 400s to low 500s. Estates, you're looking at the 500s. The sweet spot. I mean, I had this conversation with the builder today. The sweet spot. I like talking sweet spots because there are certain elements of sweet spots. Look at this hourglass. There's certain elements of sweet spots here in the estate section. You're going to spend probably about $600,000. I just met a couple who was previewing their home that they bought here. They bought in January of this year, a few months back, and they paid in the $600,000. So if you're looking at an estate home, generally speaking, you're going to be in the $600,000. That's the sweet spot. Of course, you can spend more. Pools, you can spend. He gave me some good guidance on the pools. 90. There you go. Pools in general, if you're doing with the builder, you're going to spend roughly, and the way they do it here is actually pretty good. You're going to spend anywhere from $90,000 to $200,000. Yes, $200,000. Today, you can spend $200,000 on a pool. Not that pool costs $200,000, but when you add the spa in, that's going to be more money. One of the other builders nearby, they will give you just a pool for about $90,000. If you add the spa, it's an extra $30,000. So with this custom pool builder, it'll give you some flexibility. I sort of like that because it's not just the pricing that's important. It's also the flexibility of what you can get with each pool. But I've had buyers who have spent over $200,000 in a pool. To some people, it's important. So in any event, the fact is you can do it. You can build it here. And it's one of the features when it comes to buying a home here at Del Webb of Tradition in Port St. Lucie, Florida. As I mentioned, this is the Mystique model. I find this home to be pretty flexible, very flexible. I've seen this home in other communities such as Avenir. There's a community called Avondale. If you follow the channel, you know that. They have the Mystique there and other communities too. The Enclave at Sherwood Park is another one where the Mystique is featured in. the Mystique is this here, the way it stands here is roughly 1889. That's 1,889 square feet under air. You can get this model, base price here, they quote at $420,000. Again, that's before the land and the upgrade. So that'll give you an idea of what you can do here at the Mystique. One of the things I do find interesting about this model in particular is that you have a lot of flexibility in terms of your structural changes. If you want to know what they are, reach out to our team. We'd love to help you. Couple other features. I mentioned the tankless water system. They do the Ring doorbell, which is one of the other things. I'll go over the HOA in a minute. The HOA in all 55 plus communities in general cover more, and I'll go over pricing. Each collection have different prices. I'll give you that in a minute. But let's see what else. Oh, they have a smart thermostat. That was what I was looking for. So here you go. So they have a smart thermostat, a Ring. So all this stuff that comes featured, that's standard here at Del Webb in tradition in Port St. Lucie, Florida. So whether you pick, I'm back outside in the in model row. So whether you're looking at the Palermo, the Mystique, I probably said that wrong. I've said it a million times, but it's going to get it wrong now. The Stellar, the Renowned, or the Elwood, the Villas. You don't always get the villas in all these communities. They're all different. The estate features are generally better, all right? I mentioned the lots, and they're a little bit wider. They're all about 130 feet deep, so they're all pretty standard in terms of, not exactly standard, but they're close in terms of distance to the backyard. The main difference is going to be in the width. Also, the Stellar, which is an estate home, is in the Renowned too. You're going to have higher ceilings. You're going to have higher door entries on the door, like 8-foot door entries. So a lot of the basic features are going to be a little bit better. I know some YouTube people like to, go and say, here we have the shower. I don't do that. I want you to know the neighborhood. That's the first model. That's the first thing. If you think this neighborhood is a fit for you, let's visit. I have to be here on your first visit. We're going to talk more. I've probably mentioned, I'm not sure where the order of this video is, but we really recommend independent representation. And one of the things we can help guide you is to what makes the most sense. We work with relocation people literally every single week, and we can give you good guidance. When you go into the builder, they pretty much want to sell you, I wouldn't say the highest price. They want to sell you on your community. If there are existing homes in this community, that are for sale, they're not going to tell you. We will. It's one of the benefits of working with Living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by eXp Luxury Homes. Before I end this model section, I want to go over this. This is, and it's hard to say, the wind. Windy day here in Florida. Is our quick home start. This quick start homes. This is our quick delivery current inventory here at Del Webb. Not ours, theirs. And they go anywhere from $601,000 to $645,000. As I mentioned, the 600 number is their sweet spot. So at any given time, I can get this sheet. If you're interested in knowing what's available at that exact moment, I can give you this right now, or show this right now. It's not going to make a difference. By the time this video airs, it will be different. A lot of people will go in the way of quick deliveries, especially around the time of school when people have you want to get kids in for school. By the way, it's a 55 plus community, so it's less of an issue when it comes to schools. But bear in mind, there are age restrictions. I got to harp on this. I'll go over this a little bit later in some other segments. But there are age restrictions. You have to be 55 and older. One person needs to be here. And there's also age restrictions on the children. So if you have older children, you're fine, meaning like 18, 19, 20. I don't know about 18, but definitely 19, 20. You're fine. They can live here full time. But if you have younger kids that are here on vacation, ask what the rules are, because some places are more strict than others. I happen to know this one's not as bad as some of the others. But if you have any question about any 55 plus community in Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Broward County, any of the communities here in South Florida, reach out. We can give you some guidance as to what to expect when it comes to the rules and regulations of that particular 55 plus community.